buckle up, everybody, because
Okay.
you guys have sent us some really fascinating stuff. We're talking about life on Mars. Yeah, you heard that right. Life on Mars. First-hand accounts, images, analysis, the whole shebang.
Wow.
And we're going to dive deep.
It's going to be
We're
good.
going deep into Andrew D. Basiago's claims.
Okay.
Now, Basiago, he claims he was part of a secret government project.
I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, called Project Pegasus. And he actually says that he visited Mars back in 1981.
Like walked on Mars.
Walked on Mars.
Wow.
So, pretty wild stuff.
That's a big claim. It is a wild story, there's no doubt. But I think what's fascinating about Basiago, aside from the outlandishness of the claim, is the detail. Like, he goes into so much detail. He doesn't just say, oh, I went to Mars. He describes the technology, the journey, the Martian environment, even the different life forms he encountered. I mean, come on.
It's like reading straight out of a science fiction novel, right?
It is.
But if even a fraction of what he's saying is true, I mean, we're talking about rewriting our understanding of history and technology and, like, where we fit in the entire cosmos.
Absolutely. Basiago's claims, they challenge everything we think we know about space exploration and the potential of what humans can do. And let's face it, the idea that there might be other intelligent life out there, maybe even right next door on Mars, is captivating. It's fascinating.
That's got to be.
It is.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with this?
Well, let's start with the beginning, I guess, right? Project Pegasus. Basiago says that he was recruited for this top-secret DARPA initiative when he was just 7 years old. Can you imagine?
I can't even imagine.
7 years old?
7 years old, being tooled into that world, like time travel and teleportation. It's wild. Basiago says that he was one of 140 children that were selected for this. And he describes this really, really intense training, where he was like learning about all this advanced technology, like a Tesla-derived teleporter, and this device called a chronovsor, which he says was used to view past and future events.
Hold on, a chronovsor.
A chronovsor?
That sounds straight out of, like, a Marvel movie or something. Like, how did he describe it? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, he does go into some detail, and it gets pretty complex. He starts talking about energy fields, holograms, and the bending of timelines.
Oh, boy.
Now, whether that's scientifically possible is a whole other discussion. We're not going to dive into the science of it today. But it's fascinating nonetheless, right?
It really is. So he said they were teleporting all over the place, like New Jersey to New Mexico, even to future locations that he didn't specify. Like,
Right.
What was the point? Why all this jumping around?
Well, that's one of the big mysteries, right? He suggests that there is something to do with ensuring that there were team members in the future to kind of send them back, almost like setting up this weird safety net.
So they're going to the future to make sure they can get back to the present. I'm already confused.
I know, it's like a time travel paradox in action, right? It makes your head spin a little bit.
Just thinking about it. Okay, so Mars.
Yeah.
Basiago claims that he was teleported to Mars twice in 1981.
Twice.
He described this like a jump room that morphed into a cylinder, and he talks about this really intense feeling of pressure during this 20-minute journey.
So this is like they're stepping into this room and then it like whoosh takes them.
Yeah, like a portal type of situation.
Yeah.
It's intense. I mean, just trying to imagine that, like really imagine that.
It's a really vivid description. It's so descriptive. It raises questions like, if this technology exists, how come we haven't heard more about it? Why hasn't it been used for other things?
Right. There's definitely a huge disconnect between what he's describing and like what we currently know about technology.
Yeah.
But say he is telling the truth.
Right.
What was the point? What was the point of sending him to Mars?
Yeah.
Is it just a scientific expedition?
Well, his account suggests that it was maybe something a little bit more than that. He claims to have encountered CIA personnel and indigenous Martians on Mars. So we're talking about a hidden world, potentially a secret space program operating for who knows how long.
Wow. And that raises some serious questions about the government's motivations and a potential cover-up.
Absolutely. What are they hiding and why?
Right. It's like a rabbit hole.
It is. And we're just starting to peek down it. Basiago's claims, if true, really suggest that our understanding of human history, technology, and our place in the universe might be completely wrong.
It's a lot to take in. But hold on, because it gets even wilder.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into the life forms Basiago claims to have encountered on Mars.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets good. He describes this whole range of beings, some humanoid, some
Really out there.
more exotic. He even claims that NASA is altering images to hide evidence of this Martian life.
Wait a minute. Photographic evidence. We need to see these photos.
He's provided some, and they're definitely interesting. but their authenticity and interpretation are very hotly debated.
Okay, so we've got a possible government cover-up, advanced technology that sounds like it's straight out of the movies, potential evidence of life on Mars. This is getting intense.
It is, and we've only just scratched the surface. Let's dig a little deeper into the specifics of the life forms
Okay.
that Basiago is describing.
And what his observations might mean for our understanding of Mars and for the credibility of his claims.
For sure. Okay, so let's dive into Basiago's descriptions of Martian life.
Okay.
He claims to have identified 5 distinct humanoid types on Mars.
5.
5. It's a mix of familiar tropes and some really bizarre concepts.
So, like, what are we talking about here?
Well, he talks about greys, those classic alien figures with the big heads and the skinny bodies.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those guys.
We've all seen them in movies and TV shows, right? And then he goes on to describe transparent beings.
Transparent beings.
Well,
So see-through.
See-through, which really stretches the imagination. How would a transparent being even function? What would their biology be like?
That's a good question. I don't know. And then there's these human-insect hybrids that he talks about.
Yeah.
The Scorpion Man in particular seems to have really captured people's imaginations.
I can see why. It's a very vivid image. He describes it in detail, talking about its blue wetsuit, horns, and segmented body. It's a creature that seems to straddle the line between science fiction and nightmare.
That's wild. It really makes you wonder if there are intelligent beings on Mars. How did they evolve? What pressures shaped their development? Are they more advanced than us or less?
Oh, great questions. And Basiago doesn't stop at humanoids. He also describes 4 categories of animal species on Mars.
Okay.
Some of them are Earth-like, like horses and elephants, which kind of suggests a possible evolutionary link between the 2 planets.
Wow, that would be huge. If it means that life might not be unique to Earth, that maybe it's spread throughout the solar system or even the galaxy.
A tantalizing thought, right?
Right.
But then he goes on to describe these hybrids of Earth animals.
Hybrids.
Like a creature with a face of a dog or a lion, but the body of an octopus.
Wait. That's just weird. It's hard to even picture that. It makes you wonder if maybe some of his descriptions are influenced by popular culture, you know? Like he's subconsciously blending science fiction tropes with his actual observations.
It's possible. I mean, we have to remember we're dealing with one person's account here, and memory can be unreliable.
Right.
Especially when we're talking about events that happened decades ago.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a second. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Basiago is telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
What are the implications of all these diverse life forms on Mars?
Well, for starters, it would mean that life is far more adaptable and diverse than we ever imagined. It would mean that the conditions we consider essential for life might not be so essential after all.
So life could exist in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. And it would challenge our understanding of evolution. If life arose independently on both Earth and Mars, did it follow a similar path? Or are there completely different evolutionary mechanisms at play?
Wow. That's a big question.
Huge. And then now the implications for humanity.
Yeah.
If there are intelligent beings on Mars, how do we interact with them? What are our ethical responsibilities?
It's like we'd need a whole new set of rules for engaging with extraterrestrial life.
Exactly. Basiago actually calls for a UN treaty to protect Martian ecology and civilization from human exploitation.
That's interesting, like a prime directive kind of thing.
Sort of. It recognizes the potential dangers of human interference. But it raises all sorts of questions, too. Like, how would such a treaty even be enforced? And how do we make sure we're not imposing our own values and beliefs on another civilization?
Right, right. Okay, well, let's shift gears for a minute and talk about Martian art and culture.
Okay.
Basiago claims to have seen evidence of this in NASA photographs.
He does.
He describes carved statues, sculptures arranged like an art gallery, even a location that he calls Shaman Point.
It's a fascinating detail. If it's true, it suggests that these Martians aren't just surviving, they're creating. They have a culture, a history, a way of expressing themselves.
He even found a statue of a bee with a man's head.
Really?
Yeah, next to figures of a king and queen.
Wow.
He seems really struck by that image.
Yeah, it's striking. And it raises all these questions about the symbolism and meaning behind Martian art. Is it purely decorative? Or is there a deeper message being conveyed about their beliefs, their history, their understanding of the universe?
I'm really curious about these photos. It's one thing to hear Basiago describe this stuff, but to actually see the images would be incredible.
I agree. He has shared some photos, but their authenticity is debated. Some skeptics say it's just natural rock formations or tricks of light and shadow.
So it's like seeing is believing, I guess.
Right. But even if the photos are inconclusive, the idea of a Martian civilization with its own art and culture, it's incredibly intriguing.
For sure. It really forces us to reconsider what we think we know about intelligence and the potential for life to flourish in ways we might never have imagined.
Absolutely. And it circles back to those big questions about our place in the universe.
Right. Are we alone? Or are we just one of many intelligent species out there, each with its own story to tell?
Exactly. Questions that have fascinated humanity for centuries. And Basiaga's claims, whether you believe them or not, just add fuel to that fire. They make us wonder what else might be out there, hidden from view, waiting to be discovered.
And what else the government might be hiding.
Right.
Basiago claims there's a deliberate cover-up, that NASA is manipulating images to conceal evidence of Martian life. He even alleges a secret U.S. presence on Mars, possibly numbering in the hundreds of thousands.
That's a huge claim. If true, it suggests a level of secrecy and deception that's hard to fathom. What would be the motivation for such a massive cover-up? And what are the ethical implications of potentially exploiting another planet and its inhabitants?
It's almost like we're getting into conspiracy theory territory here.
A little bit.
But even if we're skeptical, we can't just ignore the possibility that there's more to the story than we're being told.
Absolutely. That's the thing about Basiago's claims. They're so outlandish, so far beyond conventional thinking, that it's easy to just dismiss them outright. But what if there's a grain of truth buried beneath all the sensationalism? What if we're just scratching the surface of a much bigger, more complex reality?
Those are some big what-ifs.
Yeah.
To really understand Basiago's claims, we need to take a closer look at the technology he says was used in Project Pegasus.
Okay.
He talks about this Tesla-derived teleporter.
Yeah,
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
it does.
How did it supposedly work?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. Basiago's father, who was also involved in Project Pegasus, apparently told him that most of their technology was based on the work of Nikola Tesla,
Oh, wow.
the brilliant inventor who pioneered alternating current
Yeah.
and other groundbreaking technologies.
Tesla was a visionary, way ahead of his time.
Absolutely.
There have been rumors that some of his most advanced work was suppressed or classified, maybe even related to what Basiago's describing.
It's possible Basiago describes the teleporter as creating this vortal tunnel in space-time, essentially wrapping the universe around them to reposition them in the space-time continuum. So it's not teleportation as we typically imagine it, where matter is disintegrated and reassembled.
So they're not actually traveling through space, but rather manipulating the fabric of reality itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Pretty mind-boggling concept.
It is. And let's not forget about the chronovsor.
Oh, yeah.
The device Basiago says they used to view past and future events. He describes it as creating holograms using energy fields. So is that actual time travel or more like remote viewing?
It sounds more like remote viewing, a way of accessing information from different points in time without physically traveling there. Basiago claims they could even access alternate timelines, which made it tricky to figure out which events were real.
Wait, alternate timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So they could see different versions of history.
That's what he says. It's a concept that really challenges our linear understanding of time. It suggests that the past and future might not be fixed, that there could be multiple possibilities, multiple branches of reality.
So the future isn't set in stone.
Maybe not. And if we can see those possibilities, can we influence them? Can we change the course of history? Basiago even claims to have seen a future event, Washington, D.C., underwater in 2013.
That's a little unsettling, especially with the rising sea levels we're seeing today. If Basiago is right, it raises some serious questions about our ability to shape the future and the responsibility that comes with that knowledge.
Absolutely. A lot to think about there. But getting back to Basiago's experiences, he describes an incident where he and his father were accidentally teleported to the year 2045 and witnessed chaos and destruction.
That sounds terrifying.
It does. It's like a glimpse into a possible dystopian future, a warning of what might happen if we don't address the challenges facing humanity. But remember, if time travel is possible, there are likely countless timelines, countless potential futures.
So we might not be doomed after all.
There's always hope. We might have the power to change course and create a better future.
That's a more comforting thought.
Yeah,
Basiago's claims about Project Pegasus raise so many questions, though.
for sure.
Like, why would the government be involved in such a secretive, a potentially dangerous project? Did he have any thoughts on their motivations?
He suggests that the government might have been interested in the military and strategic applications of time travel and teleportation technology.
I can see how that could be tempting. Espionage, sabotage, warfare, the possibilities are endless.
The implications are vast. It's entirely possible that the government has been developing and refining these technologies in secret for decades.
Okay, so we're back in conspiracy theory territory again.
A bit. But Basiago also makes a very disturbing claim
Oh.
about being brainwashed as part of Project Pegasus. He suggests that participants were subjected to mind control techniques to ensure their secrecy and compliance.
That's a serious allegation, especially if it's true. Raises ethical concerns about the government's methods and the potential long-term effects on the people involved.
Absolutely. Basiago has faced a lot of criticism and skepticism for his claims. How has he responded?
Yeah, I bet. It's a pretty out there story.
He stands by his story, and he claims to have evidence to support it, including photos, documents, and witness testimonies. But some of that evidence has been challenged or disputed. It's a complex and controversial story, and it's hard to know what to believe.
It's like this giant puzzle with a lot of missing pieces. We have these tantalizing glimpses into a hidden world, but we're left to fill in the blanks ourselves.
That's where critical thinking comes in. We need to weigh the evidence, consider the source, and evaluate the plausibility of the claims. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and while Basiago's story is captivating, it's important to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right, so we can be fascinated by the story without necessarily taking it as fact.
Exactly. Appreciate the mystery and the intrigue, the possibility that there's more to the universe than we know, without completely abandoning critical thinking.
It's about finding that balance, being open to new ideas but not being gullible.
Exactly. And that's what makes Basiago's story so compelling. It forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge, the boundaries of our imagination, and the very nature of reality itself.
Okay, so we've explored these incredible claims, looked at some intriguing but kind of questionable evidence, and we're left with a whole lot of unanswered questions. Where do we even go from here?
Yeah, that's a big question, isn't it? I mean, even if we take everything Basiago says with, a giant grain of salt, there's still some pretty profound implications here.
Like what stands out to you? Even if, we can't really prove or disprove what he's saying, what are the big takeaways?
Well, for one thing, it really highlights the power of, the human imagination. Basiago's story, true or not, I think it captures this fascination we all have with the unknown, with the potential of technology that seems, totally impossible, and with the idea that we're not alone in the universe.
Right, it definitely speaks to that, that desire we have to push the boundaries of what we think is possible, to explore those frontiers of science and technology and imagine what might be out there beyond what we currently understand.
Absolutely. And even if Basiago's specific claims, turn out to be just made up, I think they force us to confront some really fundamental questions about the nature of reality, the limits of our perception, and the possibility that there might be forces at work that we're not even aware of.
Yeah, it's like he's opened this door to a world we didn't even know existed, and even if that door turns out to be fake, it still makes you wonder, what might be behind the real doors out there.
Exactly. Yeah. And that sense of wonder, that curiosity, that's what drives scientific discovery, human progress.
Yeah.
Even if his story is totally fabricated, it can still be a catalyst for exploration, for questioning those assumptions, and for pushing those boundaries of what we think we know.
It's like a thought experiment, right?
Yeah.
On a grand scale. What if time travel is possible? What if there's life on other planets? What if the government is hiding secrets? Way beyond what we can imagine. These questions might not have easy answers, but they can lead to some pretty fascinating discussions and insights.
For sure. And they can also lead to, I think, a greater appreciation for, just how vast and complex the universe really is. Even if Basiago's claims are completely false, the very fact that he can come up with this story, it really speaks to the boundless potential of the human mind.
Yeah, it is a reminder that there's so much we don't know, so much we haven't even begun to explore, and who knows what amazing discoveries are waiting for us out there.
Yeah.
If we just keep an open mind and dare to, imagine the impossible.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the details, the evidence, the credibility, all of that. But we shouldn't lose sight of the big picture. His story, whether it's true or not, is really a testament to the power of imagination, the allure of the unknown, and that enduring human quest to understand our place in the cosmos.
Well said. Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. This has been a wild ride full of twists and turns, but ultimately it's left me with a sense of wonder and I think a renewed curiosity about the universe and all its mysteries.
Me too. Me too. And whether you believe Andrew Basiago or not, I think his story is a really powerful reminder that there's always more to learn, more to explore, and more to imagine out there.
Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been a fascinating and honestly kind of mind-bending journey.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. And to our listeners out there, thanks for sending us this material and prompting us to take this deep dive into the world of Andrew Basiago and all these extraordinary claims. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. What stood out to you? What resonated? What questions are you still thinking about?
Share your reactions, and let's keep this conversation going. The universe is full of mysteries,
Yeah.
and it's up to all of us to explore them, to question, to imagine, and to keep searching for the truth, whatever that might be.
Yeah, that's right. And one last thought to leave you with. Basiago claims to have seen a future event, Washington, D.C., underwater in 2013. Now, whether or not that specific vision came to pass, it raises this really profound question. If we can see these potential futures, do we also have the power to change them? And if so, what responsibility do we have for shaping the course of events? For ourselves, for generations to come, it's something to think about.